Okay, how you guys doing? This is Bill, obviously. Great rehearsal last night. Uh, this is the blocking for rehearsal number two, which happened Thursday night, the 1st of February. This one's a little, well, there are fewer pages. It's a lot more complicated. So let me get the blocking PowerPoint up for you guys, and then we'll get going. Here is the stage. Now, I guess we'll just jump right into it. The video starts out with the video. The scene starts out with Beth having just sent Parabola, Viv, and Johnny home. So she says goodbye. I'll see you guys later. And she goes back over here to the table. Once she's at the table, she picks up the blueprints, rolls them up, and puts them back in the little container. In the event that there is still silverware there, now she needs to knock that off the table too, and create some kind of scene where she's klutzing around with the silverware and the blueprints. Somewhere along the line, she needs to take that stuff and put it over here. So eventually on this credenza will be plates, silverware, and the blueprints. Okay. Plates, silverware, and the blueprints. Also on the credenza will be the broken plate from the previous scene that she had broken earlier. So all that stuff's on the credenza. So she grabs, once that's there, she grabs the broken dish, and it will be in three places. Correction. Once she gets there, she will run out here, go to the kitchen, and come back with her super glue. Then she takes the three broken pieces of dishes, brings them back to the couch, and sits there and lays them on the table. Oh, she probably have some kind of newspaper out there or something like that, so she can lay the super glue and the broken plate together. So at this point, she takes a piece of the broken dish. She glues one edge of it, and then takes the other one, and then she drops it. Then she gets all fed up. She puts that down. Then she puts her hand to her head to wipe the sweat away, and her hand gets stuck. Okay. She gets up. And tries to start looking at her watch to see what time it is, because her husband should be home any minute because they're having dinner guests this evening. Again, she kind of wanders over here, and because she kind of wanders to this side of the thing, she trips, falls down, and on her way down, she grabs a couch cushion, which eventually also gets stuck to her hand. And all of a sudden we hear, "Oh no, not again." Then we hear, "Oh no, the roast is cooking." So Beth gets up and takes off for the kitchen to check on the roast food. Then we hear more clinking and clanking and whooping and bopping and everything else. And then there's a knock on the door. So Beth, now with the couch cushion attached to her hand and the her other hand with the watch stuck to her head, takes off for the door. And Keith is at the other side of the door. And so Beth runs over, tries to negotiate, and that whole thing where hold on, everyone's got it, quit joking around, I'll drop everything, blah, 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 blah. He finally opens the door. Beth is bending over at the waist, and he hits her in the head with the door, and she goes plop again. Keith comes in, and being the kind gentleman, goes, "What are you doing down there?" Beth, of course, struggles to her feet, says, I almost got it. And then Keith says, "What's that smell? The roast. I'll get it." And he takes off for the kitchen. Beth has already, of course, taken care of this. So she gets up, struggles up, flops the couch cushion over her hand, and she follows him in. As she does, he comes back out with the swinging the swinging bar doors here, and he hits them again, but this time she catches them with her hand. Okay, and so he says, "Well, that came in handy." And then they start drifting this way. I'm going to leave it up to you actors to figure out how this works. Anyway, so Keith decides that Officer go get the fingernail polish. So he leaves again. He goes back out there, gets the fingernail polish, comes back, and begins daubing her hand where her head is, right here, to release her hand, and then also starts dabbing her hand so that that's also holding the cushion. So eventually she pulls her hand down and puts her hand down, and then he starts talking about the mother, and to distract him, she puts her hand back up here and pretends like it's stuck again. And he says, "No, you quit joking around. That's not funny." And so anyway, she pulls her hands down. So eventually she will take the cushion and put it over here on the thing. But she doesn't know it, but the cushion has to fall off the couch. They go back and they begin setting the table. Beth walks in. Keith walks into the kitchen because right when Beth says, "So about besides a mother-in-law Oedipal complex, what's this all about?" So he takes off into the kitchen, and she says, "Come back here." And he returns with a carving knife and puts it on the table, and that's where he confesses to her, "Oh, I'm in hot water." Blah 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 blah. Okay, and then we hear another knock at the door. We hear another knock at the door, and Keith goes over and gets the to let Everett in. So of course, Beth is of course she goes over and she greets him as well, and Everett starts looking around and saying, "Oh, what's with the cushion and the broken dishes?" And so as he does that, Beth again trips over the cushion, and it has to be so, and she has to land back here somewhere so that when she reaches up, all you can see is her one hand with the couch cushion. So it'll be funny. Everett helps him up. Goes over to help us. He goes, no, I'm good. And Keith grabs the cushion out of her hand, and Everett helps the wife up. And then Beth, finally on her feet, goes in the kitchen to get a broom. Everett puts it on the couch, and then Everett, correction, Keith should be over here somewhere by this time. After getting his wife all sorted out, and then with Beth in the kitchen, Keith says, "Hey, honey, can you get us a couple of beers?" She says, "Sure, no problem." And meanwhile, she's in there picking up a broom. So she comes back with 2 beers and a broom under her arm. She leans the broom against the table, gives Keith his beer, and then gives one to Everett, and then holds on to it as if her hand's still glued. He's really not sure what to make of it, and then she finally releases it. Then they finally releases the bottle. She goes back, picks up the broom, and then begins sweeping. Then while she does that, they have a conversation about, yes, I did have a long sort of history with super glue, blah, 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 blah. So while Beth is sweeping up the mess she's made. So it's going to be kind of over here. We'll have to feel that out as we go. In the meantime, Everett, who has by this time correction. By this time, he's sitting at a couch or a chair or something like that. Sees a picture of Viv. He goes over there, picks it up, and goes, "Oh wow, that's she's pretty hot." And then then they had the conversation about does she know I'm going to be here? Keith, there's no one over there. Beth, of course, goes over a little bit. You guys can work this part of it out. And he chugs his beer, and then he says, "Would you like another? Would you like another one?" And then Keith grabs the room from says, "I'll take care of this for you," and he takes off out of here. Then comes the whole conversation about, "You look like her," "No, I don't," blah 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 blah. Everett starts looking around. Says, "I need to go to the bathroom." Beth says, "It's through the swinging doors." He goes out, and then Keith comes back in. They have the conversation. "Honey, it's nice." Blah 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 blah. And then Keith comes in, and then Everett comes back in, and then comes the part where the cell phones ring. And they all say at the same time, "Hello, Young here. Any update?" It goes on and on and on. And then they and all at the same time said, "I'm sorry, we'll have to reschedule." They go, What? They go, "So the whole thing?" Detective Ward gives Everett his coat, and they beat feet out of there. And then Beth, who's center stage, says, this could be messy. That's it. The thing that's going to take up a lot of time is, of course, all the slapstick stuff that Maggie has to do. So I need your patience on Thursday night as we work our way through it. She is the person who the weight of the scene revolves around. So I'd like to do this 2 or 3 times, depending on how much it takes. The first time is going to take quite a while as Beth moves through it. We don't want to make sure they don't break anybody. So that's kind of where we're at right now. That's kind of where we're at right now. So there we are. I'm also you will also notice I've attached a list of props to the doesn't matter. Oh, yes, it does. I've actually sent a list of props to this email. So I will see Beth, Keith, Everett, my assistant director, tomorrow night, 7. Be on time so we can end on time, and it's going great. This is going to be a complicated scene, so we're going to go through it. All right. Thanks. Bye.